Who all remembers from 1996 the Varginha aliens of Brazil? I do, and I always found the story fascinating, putting my sparkle glasses on. So if you don't know what it is, this refers to in 1996 in Varginha, Brazil. It involves sightings of a cigar-shaped UFO, alleged crash landing, and the purported capture of extraterrestrial beings by the military. I mean, there were hundreds of sightings of this cigar-shaped craft that crashed, and then numerous sightings of these beings. In fact, one of the stories was where three girls went by a bush and saw something there. They get over there and they see this being. All they know is that this is not a human and this is not an animal. They said it looked scared and it was oily looking. They ran back home, told their parents, and said it looked like the devil. And then there was a soldier by the name of Marco Cheriz who reportedly passed away from this being. Not intentional, but I guess whatever was on this being created some kind of bacterial infection that we just didn't have the antibiotics to face and to help him recover. So he passed away. Now, supposedly, one of these beings from the crafts was sent to the hospital, nearby hospital, by the military. And in fact, there's reports of the hospital that night smelling like sulfur. And that's what a lot of people said that this being smelled like. But after almost 30 years after this took place, the surgeon who worked on the being has come forward. And individual James Fox, who actually created the documentary in 2022 of this whole incident, has the firsthand account from this individual. Let's take a listen.
I asked him how it felt after 29 years to come forward, what it was like to look into the eyes of this creature. Tell me what it was like. I was dying to know. And he said it was a higher level of intelligence, so much higher, more advanced. Even though that it was in captivity, it had control of the room. He said, an intelligence way beyond. It was like an angel. But he describes his skin as more white with the big red eyes and the little horns, exactly the way the girls described. And I just thought to myself, was that sort of a defense measure? Did their skin react to the hot sun? When they're scared and freed? I don't know.
No dia eu fui ver como se eu tivesse ido ver paciente, e não era paciente, realmente era alien, claramente alien. O crânio era em forma de gota, os olhos em forma de gota. Eu fui ver paciente, achando que era humano. E eu vi ali ser maravilhoso de mundo que eu não conheço. Me pergunto se estava sofrendo, ele não estava sofrendo, se ele estava entendendo, ele estava entendendo. Muito calmo, muito tranquilo, olhou para mim como se entendesse tudo que eu estava pensando. Eu acho bacana conversar isso, explicar para as pessoas que existem muito mais coisas do que a gente imagina. Para mim foi muito importante ver, porque eu vi a imensidão que tem esse universo, né? Não somos só nós aqui, nesse mundo tão maravilhoso, mas deve existir muitos outros, e aquele ser que estava ali é prova disso.
Now, I know some of you are probably saying, well, how did the surgeon work on this alien without being affected like that other military individual? Well, I could tell you why, because he had PPE on. When you work in surgery, you're always wearing PPE, so I'm sure he took extra precautions and while working with this being, but I find this fascinating and I find it believable and it kind of gets me excited. But I do have a question that why after 30 years is he coming forward? Is it because maybe a contract that he had with governments that said he had to keep silent for so long? Or is it just because he's retired, he's older, and he says, I'm coming forward, it doesn't matter anymore? Or did the government say, you know what, we want you to tell your story because it's time that we start pushing this narrative so people understand? I'm not sure. But let's get to the being. So this Varginha alien, they named it that because of the place where this all happened. But what are they? Because they don't seem like grays. They have red eyes. They're about 4 feet tall, slimy, have kind of horny looking things on the top of their heads. So what are they? So here's my take. So I believe these beings may be the Hopi Indian ant people. And I believe these beings if you want to call them that, come from underground. That's where they live. They may have come from another planet once upon a time, but they've been here for a real long time, probably even longer than us, I think. So here's some thoughts. So the sliminess on their skin, I believe, is an actual protective lubricant with sulfur in it. Sulfur acts as a protectant of skin, primarily through its antimicrobial, antibacterial, and antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties. It helps protect the skin from various issues by creating an environment less hospitable to harmful microorganisms and promoting a healthy skin barrier. And I believe the red eyes, well, some animals have red eyes naturally due to pigments like hemoglobin in their blood or other specific red coloring pigments. This can be an adaptation to help with low light vision, UV protection, or for mate selection and signaling. Or if you're living underground, right? If that's your natural habitat, you are going to need a protectant of your skin from the UV, which we have a lot of here on the surface of Earth. Also, the sulfur coloring kind of creates like a yellow. So if you mix gray with yellow, if these are somehow like gray beings, it could give them a brownish, olivish colored skin from the sulfur. So, I mean, it is possible that these could be still gray beings. I'm not sure. Some information about the ant people with Hopi mythology. They were benevolent, underground beings who helped the Hopi survive world-ending cataclysms by sheltering them in underground sanctuaries. They taught the Hopi about food storage and showing them how to live in harmony. They say that the ant people were selfless and they helped feed the Hopi. Ultimately, these ant people were good. And I genuinely think that this might be related, that these beings might be the ant people. And they may not be gray beings. They may be a totally different kind of being altogether, these particular ones. Because, I mean, just hearing the surgeon talk, it sounds like they are benevolent. And the particular military individual who passed away, that was just an unforeseen circumstance that happened from the encountering of this being, unfortunately. I don't know about you, but I am excited to hear this surgeon's story, and I do feel like it is real. I feel like all these stories that I've heard come out of Brazil about this encounter, I feel like they are real. I think more and more is coming out. We're going to see more and more of this kind of stuff come out, and I'm excited for it. I am here for it. And what do you all think about it?